You are now tuned into the hottest podcast on the net, man. Tough Love Podcast.
It's DJ Guate. We're right here live at AE University. It's authentic or nothing. You are now watching the Tough Love Podcast.
We with Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast.
The Tough Love Podcast.
You tuned into the Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast, baby.
Kevin Gates was recently called strange by former Texas gang leader, activist, and online figure Charleston White following the Baton Rouge rapper revealing he was molested as a child. "I don't know what done happened to Kevin Gates," White said in the video. "Somebody check on Kevin Gates. Ever since that boy came out, he said he's been molested. He's sure been acting strange. Yeah, ever since Kevin Gates came out and said somebody fucked him, that boy been acting strange. That nigga been doing some weird shit." Kevin Gates took to Instagram on Wednesday, December 22nd, to respond to Charleston White, but his response was anything but heated. "I just wanted to make this post," Kevin Gates said on Instagram. "I'm only really talking to one person. You say Kevin Gates been acting strange. Okay, cool. Maybe I'm operating outside of your understanding, brother, because I don't have anything against you. I'm really a fan of your work. You're a great community activist. But tearing other people down to lift yourself up, that's not a good practice. That's a show of internal insecurities you have, because you're projecting negativity onto other people instead of being uplifting." He continued to say, "I support people through their ups and downs and hardships, and for the first time in my life, I'm free. I do not do drugs. I just finished working out. So you say Kevin Gates acting strange. That's cool. I don't care. I love you. I don't have any insecurities. I'm fully prepared for death. The most beautiful thing ever. Death is the truth of the truth. I love you, bro." Kevin Gates admitted he was sexually abused as a child during an appearance on Mike Tyson's Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson podcast in June. "I never said this in no interview or no podcast or anything like that," Kevin Gates said at that time. "I grew up real violent and real aggressive. Not because I wanted to be, but I was molested as a child, so I had this fear of being vulnerable. I took every kind of martial arts you could take. I even boxed. I did everything." He added, "I wanted to be the toughest person on earth, but writing and making music was always an escape for me. I never had the nuts to come out and say that. This is my first time saying this today." Now, to be quite frank with y'all, I personally am not a fan of Kevin Gates' music, but I am a fan of his character. I've been to prison before, so when I hear him speak, I know a lot of the knowledge he kicking and the way he articulating it comes from being in prison. I always felt like he was strange, even before the booty eating and admittedly having sex with his cousin statement he made. But I always respected his knowledge and the way he articulates it. I think when it comes to this story, Charleston White might be reaching. Most niggas wouldn't admit nothing like that unless they was coming out as gay, but Kevin Gates did. Let me know how you feel about this topic in the comments section. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever is your favorite podcast streaming platform at Tough Love Podcast. Tough Love Podcast. Tough Love Podcast.
DJ Guate. We're right here live at AE University. It's authentic or nothing. You're now watching the Tough Love Podcast.
We with Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast.
The Tough Love Podcast.
You tuned into the Tough Love Podcast.
Tough Love Podcast, baby.